Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be doing rear brake pads on the 2015 Can-Am Spyder F3. I am using a camera that I cannot put a mic on, so hopefully it's not too windy out. The neighbor's dog was barking, but it seems to stop here. So if you have a 2012 or older, it's going to be different than the 13s and newer. They changed the brake. Once they went with the 15-inch wheels up front, they went with Brembo brakes. So if you do have an older one, it will be different than this one. Also, what I noticed with this one is they use standard bolts. I'm pretty sure my last one used metric bolts, but for some reason this one uses standard bolts. So we're going to grab a 5/8, and we're going to remove this bolt and this bolt. One's on the top of the caliper and one's on the bottom of the caliper. Let's see if I can set this up here. And it's not difficult, it's just really tight. Okay, so the caliper came down, and you don't need to remove the wheel. You just need to work it around off of the mounting points. Just here, and then the other one is up in here, and you have plenty of room to slide it off the rotor to where you don't hit the wheel. The next thing is you have this bolt right here that torques, and you have that safety clip right there. So we're going to remove that. I have some issues with the camera, I do believe. And that simply just pulls out. And that's what it looks like. Set that aside. And then we're going to need a Torx bit, and I do believe it's a T30. And this is what holds the pads in. So we just put it in. So there we go. So far, I don't have a garage, so I'm sitting out in the yard. I put a carpet down so I don't lose anything. So this is what we removed so far. Nothing hard. 4 things so far. And rotate the caliper over. And here are the pads. And they just simply pull out. Once that bolts out, you just pull them out. It's that simple. So it looks like that pad is right where it needs to be changed. I'm not getting a lot of wear on the other pad. So these do have shims on the back. I always remove these to put them on the EBC brake pads. And if you need to get a screwdriver down in there to pry them out, but it's simple. Okay, so what's different with this caliper compared to the calipers before this is an actuated caliper. So here's the piston. So I'm going to rotate it to where you can see a little bit better. There we go. There's the piston. You see those two holes. You never, ever, ever want to push that piston back like you do on the front. With this being an actuated caliper, that piston screws in and screws out, and that's the emergency brake part of it, or the park brake. So you can go get a kit from Harbor Freight that has all these different adapters, and find the right one. Those will fit inside the holes of the caliper, and then you use a tool like this to rotate it in. What I found last time worked better was some snap ring pliers. I'm going to adjust these so they're just a little bit bigger. Just a set of snap ring pliers. And so they just fit right inside there. And then with just some moderate pressure, you push down. And you rotate. And you just, nice and easy. And there you go. Piston's all the way in. Didn't force anything. So we're almost done, believe it or not. Okay, so I use EBC. I've always used EBCs. Now, on my last Spyder, I forgot to put these shims in, and it didn't make any difference. But they just snap right onto the backside. You see the little mounting tabs? They just push right on. So, if you have a car, they say, you put a little bit of grease back here. So that way if they vibrate, that grease will soak up the vibration and they won't be as noisy. On motorcycles, they say you don't add any grease. You put them on dry, because if you get any grease, it drips down onto the wheel and or to the brake. You're going to have issues. So, we're going to put them in dry. And then you just push these down in. Probably should have done this one first. Nothing too difficult. Let's grab this one. So now this is going to be the difficult part. I put my thumb in between those pads to hold them so they don't fall out, because I had to rotate it. We grab our bolt. And that simply goes in through the brake pads. And it snaps in. Pads are lined up. See if I can rotate this over. There we go. See, it slides right in there. And we tighten it up. grab our little clip, slide it into place. It just pushes in. It's not hard. I mean, you shouldn't even need to get pliers or needle nose or anything like that. Now, I'm going to have to lay down because my back will not let me flex to bend over to mount this caliper. You just push your pads in. There we go. They're a little crooked. Just seat them. Push the pads. Okay, so we slid it on, line it up. You can always use Loctite. Start them by your fingers. I run them in by hand until it just doesn't go anymore. Make contact there, so let's tighten this one up. Snug them up. And there we go. New brake pads on the rear of a 2015 Can-Am Spyder F3. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same from 13 on up on the RS, the ST, the F3, and the RT. But if you have a 2012 or older, it is a different system. Make sure you snap in your brake hose. And always, whenever you do brakes, when you're done, pump the brake pedal. That's going to force that piston through there, or it's going to force that piston back out. I'm going to hit my brake button. Brakes are working. Turn that back off. So there we have it. The only thing I removed was the saddlebag on this side before I started. It's not hard. The hardest thing, to be honest with you, was lining the pads, making sure the pads stayed in the caliper straight and sliding it back up on the rotor. That was absolutely the hardest part of this, and it wasn't bad. I just had to get down to where I could see what I was doing. So, thank you for watching.